Good morning and welcome to Enterprise Friday on Enterprise Television. I am Kende Bodun.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
Okay, it's the start of a new day and we are glad to have you on the show. We will kick off with today's newspaper review before diving into the main conversation of the day. Trust me, you don't want to miss a moment with us. You can join the conversation by dropping your comments, liking and following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. So joining us to share the matters at hand is Barrister Is Greatness. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for your time.
Yeah.
Now let's kickstart today with the Guardian newspaper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So the big story: Nigeria's press at 166. So the Nigerian press is celebrating 166 years. Old battles linger amid new threat. Fight for survival and truth.
True. So on the top strip we have Yoruba Ronu Hog urges Tinubu to address Nigerians on genocide U.S. threats.
And also we have Tinubu vows to defeat terrorism as U.S. plans military options.
We also have FG bars sale of FAAN assets, approves airport concession biometric upgrades.
And also we have Senate orders NAFDAC to outlaw sachet alcoholic beverages by December 31.
Very true. Still on the top strip, we have Damagum tightens grip as PDP state chairman disown rival leadership.
And also anxiety tight security as Anambra elects new governor tomorrow.
Okay, still beside that, we have report ranks Nigerian state health emergency preparedness below 30%.
All right, 68% of electricity consumers bypassing prepaid meters. Did you get that?
Yes.
All right, beautiful. Barrister, I'd love us to take care of this matter of electricity. 68% of electricity consumers bypassing prepaid meters, and that's coming from the federal government. It's a perennial issue, Barrister. You would agree with me. At least I am. I would love to be identified as a culprit. You know, many years ago, while we were still young people in secondary school, you know, because of the high cost of electricity at the time, right? We will have a way of, removing the wire and, bypassing when NEPA cords and all that. You know, from those days in the 80s up until now, we have band A, band B, and band E. It's still the same issue. How do you think we can better arrest the situation where Nigerians feel they don't need to pay for electricity for reasons best known to them?
It's simple now. It's self-explanatory. Provide electricity. Provide reliable electricity. Provide regular electricity. You know, many a times when light comes now, they say, up NEPA.
Yes, sir.
You know, a secondary school classmate of mine came to Nigeria. He stays in UK for the first time with his daughter. And then before he knew, in the evening, the daughter started shouting, "Daddy, I'm blind, I'm blind, I'm blind, I'm blind, I'm blind." So the dad rushed to the daughter and checked her and saw that there was nothing wrong with her eyes. And when he looked around, he saw that NEPA has taken the light. And the daughter has never experienced power failure before in her entire life. So because NEPA took the light, she thought, she could not understand that it was NEPA that took light, but that she was physically blind. And so from that scenario alone, you can see that because of the lack of electricity provision in Nigeria, we are all actually blind. We are blind. We are blind to facts. We are blind to realities. We are blind to civilization. We are blind to living an average normal life. Average normal life. We are blind to it. So so when you provide sufficient, adequate regular power supply, you now create the leverage. You now create the leverage for Nigerians to be ready, be willing, be desirable, consistently to pay for electricity that they consume. What we are actually doing now, majority of Nigeria, is paying for darkness. We are paying for provision of darkness. We are paying for irregular power supply. We are paying for power outage. Power, every day we hear this transformer has broken down. The national, last year alone, from our account, the national grid collapsed not less than 3 times. 3 times the national grid collapsed without any apology to consumers, without any credible explanations to Nigeria, without any assurance that the national grid will never collapse again. Nobody was sacked, nobody resigned, nobody was punished, there was no audit, there was no probe, there was no panel set up, there was no recommendation, there was no white paper report, there was no prescription on what should we do so that we should be saved in terms of what should we do so that such a scenario will not repeat itself. And this is a country that is talking about being able to attract foreign investment. How can you attract foreign investment in such a scenario? So you can see that power supply is a national security issue. Power, adequate, regular, reliable power supply is an economic issue. Okay. It's an issue that will enhance economic growth and development. So coming back to where I took off from, if people are assured that they will even get 15 power supply of 15 hours a day, and they will pay for power consumed and not pay for darkness, then they will now inculcate in them that desire to meet their bill, especially now too that we have prepaid reading. So it's just, if, for example, now does MTN, Glo, and the other network, do they go and drug their customers to pay for services? Do they? Is it not when you buy your that you use? If there's network disruption, who suffers? Is it only the consumer or the network providers? Do we need to be calling Glo, calling network that I'm not having network? Do the needful? You don't, because they know that their profit, their business, their well-being depends on it. And so power provision in Nigeria, adequate power supply will continue to be a mirage to us Nigerians.
Okay, thank you. You know, I just used to wish we could just have a country where we don't even get to shout this up NEPA. You know, there should be steady light.
In fact, that's the first thing any child, you know, gets to learn. In fact, that's the first word a Nigerian child, you know, gets to learn.
And you'll be wondering, okay, up NEPA. And even if that child gets exposed and travel out and all of that, there will be this missing, and maybe the child sees that, okay, this place I'm having the steady light. You know, there will be this, oh, I think Nigeria should be like this too. So there will be this comparison. Thank you so much, His Greatness. So I think we should look at another.
Yes, let's look at the story, Barrister. Tinubu vows to defeat terrorism as U.S. plans a military option. Barrister, have you observed suddenly that the administration of President Bola Tinubu now understands what good governance is? No one is talking about defection any longer. Every ministry, parastatals, the military architecture, every single person within this administration suddenly realizes what they should be doing right.
Yeah.
So do you think this big brother role of America is working effectively, especially for Nigeria?
Well, we discussed this issue on Tuesday.
Yes.
And I told you that this is one of the best news that has come to Nigeria in 10 years, since 2015, since the emergence of late former President Muhammadu Buhari. This is the best news that we Nigerians have received with joy and with thanksgiving. Because if it is clear that we Nigerians, who are the employers of government, by the way, we are the employers of those in government. But both we could not hold the government of the day accountable, and the media too. The responsibility of the media is to hold government, judicial government, and legislative government, executive government, hold them accountable. But even they have refused, these arms of government have completely refused to be held accountable by the citizenry, by the media, by the...
Are you still there, Barrister?
But thanks be to God. Thanks be to God that because no country exists in isolation, despite your claim to sovereignty, despite Nigerians' claim that it's a sovereign nation, he still owes other international bodies, other nationalities of the world. He owes them the obligation to be held accountable in his conduct, in the way it carries out his governance, in his principal obligation, which is security and welfare of citizens, shall be the primary purpose of governance. Since we Nigerians and the media cannot hold our own government accountable to anything against, has been able to hold the government of the day fully accountable, fully alive to its responsibility that has been neglected for 10 years now and counting. So, of course, it's a wonderful development. It has put the government of the...
Are you still there? Well, I think...
all right, let's hope that his connection, Barrister's connection would come back. And of course, he was...
And address the embarrassing security situation that we have continued to see ourselves. I don't know, can you still hear me?
Very well, so we can hear you.
I'm on the way, I'm traveling also.
It's okay, no problem. It's okay, thank you for your time. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very wonderful development, and we are so thankful to God for this. You can imagine that in just the past few years, so people will enter a community, kill 200 people, nobody will be arrested, nobody will be persecuted. In fact, the killers are not known. They will move again to another community. Security agencies and forces will come 5 to 10 hours after the deed has been done. And this has been the experiences of northern Nigeria for well over 7 years, 8 years. And we are saying that America is intruding. How is America intruding? America is acting based on the humanitarian concern. It's lost forever. So, of course, it's a welcome development. And I hope that the Americans, too, with Donald Trump, will even go further after this security issue to go into holding Nigerians accountable to free and fair elections. I want Donald Trump to pledge and to threaten to deploy American security forces to be the one who will monitor the election of year 2027. I want the Americans to say they will come and station, our police and army should be withdrawn, should stay in their barracks. Why it is the American forces that will be stationed in all polling units, all polling booths, all wards in Nigeria, and provide security.
Oh, okay.
To conduct 2020. The next issue Donald Trump will dwell on. Let us see whether 2027 and the election there will be glitches. Let us see whether in 2027 election there will be ballot box snatching. Let us see whether in 2027 election there we will see results, unsigned results being accepted by INEC. Let us even see whether in 2027 election there will be a form of electoral violence. So I hope that Donald Trump will be encouraged and motivated to take and holding government alive to take it to the next level, 27 electoral process.
Awesome, very great, and it's a welcome thing actually, because you know there's this big brother role is so very important. You know, when a younger brother refuses to do the needful, you know, the big brother should always be there. And I love to believe you know, Donald Trump is doing an amazing job, even if lots of Nigerians might not agree.
I agree with it. I wasn't coming to that because what do you think about what His Greatness Agadarigo said? Do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be possible for the U.S. to, you know, deploy that?
Well, he's actually being hyperbolic here. It wasn't actually stated that, of course, because we know it's not possible. America will not leave their trouble and come here to help us do our trouble. The only thing they might do is to ensure that there is accountability, especially with our main conversation, you understand, which will be kicking off very soon on how the United States is beginning to hold people accountable. You know, maybe this and more would be possible. But Barrister, in the next 60 seconds, if we may, because that's the time we have for this particular segment before we move on to the main conversation, and we have it here, Barrister, that NAFDAC is actually looking up to disallowing the sale of alcoholic products in sachet by December 31st. As much as we love the action of doing that, right, so as to save our drivers and passengers, because those are the biggest customers of those sachet alcoholic brands, do you think this would affect our companies, our industries, our factories, and definitely affecting jobs in the country? If you weigh both, how do you balance it, Barrister?
First of all, I disagree with NAFDAC in its entirety, in its bid to now ban sales of sachet alcoholic beverages. That's not the issue. That's not where NAFDAC should pitch its tent. His concern is that those sachet alcoholic beverages, are they below standard? Are they below standard? Are they different from the content of those sold in bottles and other containers? Are they different? That's you know, Nigeria, once you give somebody small power, he runs riots and try to do what other people should be doing. That's no business of NAFDAC. That's the concern of NAFDAC. You must base your policies must align to your mandate, your statutory mandate. The statutory mandate of NAFDAC.
Are you still there? Okay. We would join you
All right. All right. So we hope that Barrister would reconnect back with us. And so he was speaking to the issue of NAFDAC. He said he is not in agreement, right, with the National Assembly asking NAFDAC to stop the sales.
Okay, just give me a few minutes.
All right, please. We will do that gladly. So speaking to that. So what's your take?
Okay, I will come from the angle of when he said content, like the one in the bottle and the one in the sachet, right? So for me, I feel they are the same thing. He was talking about, okay, looking at these two different content.
Yes.
Well, it's still the same thing.
Content.
But yeah, it's still the same content, but
different
packaging, right?
Medium,
yeah. So the thing is, I feel that it's still the same thing. So even if it's in a bottle or it's in a sachet, it should be, for me, I would even support NAFDAC.
Okay, to stop it.
Yeah, to stop it. But it's not going to be too, it shouldn't be too soon. At least there should be like a creating awareness that, okay, this is what we are coming with this kind of initiative. And please, even if they want to do that, they should try and make sure that there should be they should give these people that are selling it, there should be like a provision of job. There should be this job security. They should have a way of providing them with another thing they can do, right? I hope I'm not really too punchy on my, but I just feel it is going to curb so many situations.
All right.
For instance, accidents, road accidents,
exactly.
Those things.
All right, so Barrister is here with us. So Barrister, okay. you had the thought there. Can you continue just before we call it a wrap for this segment?
As I'm talking to you now, I'm traveling in Nigeria. Right. When we get to a military check, we are not allowed to use our phone.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why I had to.
Yes, I understand.
Sorry. Okay, so coming into the matter, the point I'm making is that every agency of government must stay in their statutorily assigned lane. No matter how zealous you are, stay NAFDAC. Please, can you kindly stay in your lane? Stay in your lane. Let other agencies of government charged with regulating drivers' conduct. We have a Federal Road Safety Corps. We even have the police. Let them carry those functions. Let them bother about that. The fact that you now ban sachets, alcoholic beverage. Okay, you want the drivers to now buy a bottle of Ogogo, the real raw alcohol.
But Barrister, no one is required to drink and drive.
Who have been charged. Sorry, Mr. Igwe. Yes. Who have been statutorily mandated to ensure that when driving, no drinking. When driving, no making of calls. When driving, do not engage in any distraction for your own safety and the safety of other road users. So charge those agencies of government to carry out their functions. Do not try to do everything. You are not a Superman. You can be as good as you are when you do your statutorily assigned function. No matter how wonderful your intentions may be, it does not really matter. Your strength, your energy, your vibrancy, and your effectiveness can only be assessed when you carry out within your statutorily assigned role. And what I want to see the new improved NAFDAC, if I will call the new management team of NAFDAC that way, is carry out extensive research to figure out whether the alcoholic content in bottles and other packages are exactly the same with the alcoholic content in alcoholic beverage sachets. That's number one. Secondly, what I want NAFDAC to do for me is also check whether putting alcoholic content inside sachet does it pose any health risk? Does it pose any health? You know, there's so many kinds of cancers these days.
Yeah.
Does it lead to maybe a cancer of alcohol, or a cancer that can be gotten from alcohol? Maybe when the alcoholic beverage stays in a sachet that is very light, that is, I think, propylene. The propylene now has a way of dissolving into the alcoholic beverage and pose a serious and existing health danger to the consumer. If this is the concern of NAFDAC, then I'm in support of this their quest. But if their concern is about drivers not drinking and driving, then I completely disagree with them, and I urge them to maintain focus on their clearly spelled out statutory
mandates.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so very much, Barrister. Even if we just learned now that the reason the National Assembly is asking them to do that is because of its abuse by younger people, by young lads, you know, young people below the age of 18, because it's often said, don't drink unless you are 18 and above. But because it's sold in sachet, lots of young people, of course, abuse it. And a reason why you see most of them engage in very nefarious activities that is not, you know, welcoming a lot. So that's all we have for this particular segment. Barrister, I'd love to believe you will still be around. I know you are on a transit. I just hope you'll be around to help us with our main conversation, if that's fine.
Try my best. I'm here with you, but I hope network will allow.
Yes, I hope
network will allow.
Yeah, I hope network will allow. So let's do that in a jiffy. That is when we return. U.S. lawmakers move to impose visa bans, asset freezes on Miyetti, Allah, and its members. That in a bit is still Enterprise Friday. Don't go anywhere. Right back. Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television from our corporate headquarters in Lagos State, Nigeria. Let's head straight to our main conversation for today, where we have it that the United States Congress has introduced a bill seeking targeted sanctions against the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria and Miyetti Allah Kautal Horde over alleged religious freedom violations against Christians. Sponsored by Representative Christopher Smith, the bill proposes visa bans and asset freezes for individuals linked to the groups and designates Fulani ethnic militia in Benue and Plateau State as entitles of particular concern, that is entities of particular concern, that is. It follows the U.S. redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, with Senator Ted Cruz also pushing for sanctions on officials accused of promoting religious persecution.
Very true. Now, reacting, the federal government said it remains calm and has opened discussions with the U.S. to address concerns diplomatically. Now, Minister of Information Mohammed Idris stated that the government takes issues of religious violence seriously and remains committed to protecting citizens of all faiths.
All right, so let's get talking. We still have a Barrister, His Greatness Agada Igu. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for your time. We truly do appreciate you, despite the issues of being on transit.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Okay, so we just All right, so we just learned that the barrister is not right here with us. I guess network issues, but would be back possibly when connection, gets better. So while we wait for a barrister to take us on this conversation, which is so very serious about the United States freezing assets of Miyetti Allah members. But what's your take on this? Just before we get into other matters.
For me, if the U.S. sees this group as a threat, right, or they see the group as a group that is not really much of like it's not really helpful, and they see it as a group that should not be associated with, I think it's a good initiative from there. That is if they want to do. If they are truly, that is, if the U.S. is truly game for they want to, freeze some assets or giving a ban on visas and all of that. I think it's a good initiative from them.
Yeah, it's a very good initiative.
So it doesn't cause any chaos, even not just in their country and even in our country too. And I feel that even if the U.S. want to start with that, the U.S. too can also have not really a say on us, but at least they should have like a movement of, okay, this is how it should be. It should be like a consent to them, because I mean, even if we have other neighboring countries like Ghana and the likes, at least if it's an issue, if it's going to be an issue like this, then the U.S. should have it should be concerned about Nigeria.
Yeah, because I think it's a wonderful experience. Those in the northern part of Nigeria might not love this because it would affect them largely, lots of them, especially the very influential ones. Some of them are currently in this administration. I know one or two that I wouldn't want to mention their name now, that had issues, right, with sponsorship of terrorism in their states. Lots of people have accused them. Some of them, the current governors, have accused the former governors of sponsoring terrorism. And some of these individuals are serving key offices in this administration, right? And the question is, how do you expect someone who is alleged to have sponsored terrorism currently serving with this administration, and you think that this administration is going to be serious about fighting terrorism at the end of the day? So you can see it's a complex issue.
It is. I feel that even if we talk about it from now to tomorrow, we would not really have a definite solution for it, because it's going to be like a developing issue that needs not just only the U.S. but at least our neighboring countries too can even give one or two talk on the issue, right? So if the U.S. government wants to really ban or freeze some assets and all of that, I feel that it's going to be like a form of restriction, not like they would not have access to maybe in terms of finances, or probably maybe making providing finances to even finance those groups. I don't know if you're getting me on that.
All right.
I think it's more of like it's a good initiative, and I think it will even really be it's going to save us from a whole lot of
all right, so we have Barrister here with us. Thank you so very much, Barrister. We truly do appreciate you despite yes. Can you hear me, Barrister?
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. I can hear you, Barrister.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So quickly, just before we allow you, I would love you to speak to the issue of the United States proposing to ban assets of members of the Miyetti Allah, especially those who have been fingered in sponsorship of terrorism, insurgency, banditry in Nigeria.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me, Barrister?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
We can hear you.
We can hear you, Barrister.
Hello?
We can hear you.
We can hear you, Barrister. Can you hear
Loud
me?
and clear.
All right, I think we're still having a bit of a technical problem there. Yeah, so I wanted to add to Barrister, because it's very key and important that we have his say on some of these issues, because this is something Nigerians have always requested. a situation where our leaders are held accountable for some of the things that they do. Over the years, for decades now, we have our politicians who would siphon money, all right, from the public purse. Governors who have been given so much money to build roads, build factories, make life better, allow children go to school, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, where we have so many out-of-school children, about 20 million out-of-school children from the northern part of Nigeria alone. And some of these governors, rather than invest this money in some of these things, allegedly use that to appease their political allies. Some of them are these bandits and insurgents that we're talking about now. And the rest of the money, they fly the money to the United States, where they think is safe. They buy assets, they buy properties there, and so on and so forth. But I equally think, rather than just making it only for the Miyetti Allah, they should spread it around Nigeria. So despite your religion, despite your tribe, if you're a Nigerian politician and you've been involved, because corruption is as good as terrorism. Corruption is terrorism, because you're stealing from the people. It's terrorism. Because of corruption, lots of people die. Because of corruption, lots of people do not have it. Right, so Barrister, we understand you're back. Thank you so very much for hanging on. Can you hear me, Barrister?
I think it's back, but I think they just have like... Okay,
so just to let us know, in case you're wondering why we're having this little connection issue, our guest, Barrister, His Greatness Agadaigo, is actually on transit. So you understand our network challenge in Nigeria, where sometimes you are in a place and the network is 4 bar. You know, once you leave that place, the network is 1 bar. So you feel like going back to where you were coming from, that was 4 bar. You know, so all of those challenges is what we're facing now. If not, a barrister would absolutely be here to answer some of the big questions that we have. But just before we get Barrister back, I was speaking to the issue of allowing this blanket, you know, across Nigeria, so that politicians who steal money and take it to the United States should equally have their properties seized. That's what I think. So, Barrister, you're here with us. Thank you. Can you hear me, Barrister?
Yes, can I go on?
Yes, please, go on, please. So, I raised the question, Barrister, did you get the question I asked?
I heard your question.
All right, beautiful.
I just wanted to make a comment.
All right, please do.
It's a very welcome development. Since we Nigerians and the media, whose responsibility is to hold our government officials, both executive government officials, legislative government officials, and judicial government officials, it has now been made impossible for us to hold accountable both their employers, who are the citizens of Nigeria, the media, who has the constitutional responsibility to hold government officials at all levels accountable, since they have refused to be held accountable. And we now are citizens of Nigeria. We have now subletted that function to, and even the United States is one of the best places in the world. I'm sure you still remember sometime in 2020 when Supreme Court gave judgment affirming Hope Uzodinma, who came fourth in the election, said the Supreme Court said that he's the first, he's the winner, but in the result he came fourth. I'm sure you remember that the
very well, Barrister. I remember.
Disallowed those Supreme Court justices from entering America. Whether you recall.
Yes, of course, which equally involves the woman in charge, your very senior colleague who is general.
Exactly. Yeah. So we encourage them that any of our government officials who from their research, who from information You know, Americans, you know, many a times the information Americans get about Nigerians, they will never share to anybody, never share to any person. So, any of our students of it, they have found all the public.
Are you still there?
Yes. Okay. I think we just have to. Let's just allow Barrister be for a while. I understand the precarious situation that he is in now. He's on transit, and getting the connection right is actually a very a big problem. Yeah. He's back. Okay. All right. Okay, all right. So we just have to let Barrister be for a while. Of course, we'd love to appreciate him a lot for giving us his insights on some of these things. And just before we conclude, you know, we're speaking to the issue of this assets, you know, seizure and all. Do you think that the children of politicians should equally suffer for their father's sins? Especially Nigerian politicians, their children.
Wow. If they are going to suffer for their father's sins, so I think it's going to be like a generational suffering. Okay. Right? Because
no, I'm not talking about the biblical suffering. I'm talking about the earthly suffering now. You know, because their fathers cannot steal money, and because of the money they've stolen, people who are supposed to be beneficiaries of that money are in IDP camps. Most of them are dying. Right, because of the callousness of their father, but their sons and their daughters are overseas enjoying themselves. So do you think that their children should equally suffer for their father's sins by maybe the United States cancelling their visa and their green card and citizenship so that they will come back here?
If the U.S. if they really want to do it over the, like, you know, cancelling their visas and all of that, it means that they want them to come and suffer what their father enjoyed, what their father, you know, did. And I think if they really want to do it, it's a thing of, you know, teaching them a lesson, number one. Number two, even if the all assets that they have, you know, probably, yes, they would have, their father would have, you know, put down some things, right, maybe money, properties and all of that. I think they should not, they will take this to court, but then they should give it to the people that need it, because I feel that these children are already made, even with their parents or with their father's properties and money. So they should give it to those people that need it, those people in the IDP camps. They should give it to them. And then they should also not restrict the children to the, because let's be serious about this. It is their right. So in as much as it is their right, they also have the right to their asset or to their property. But then it should be like should be divided. They take this and people who need this take it. So.
All right, thank God it's Friday, and just before we wind up for today, let's leave the wahala, Nigerian wahala, American wahala, which is big and all that. So, but let's soften it just before we call it a wrap for today. Now let's talk about Regina Daniels and Ned, the grandfather husband. You know, no, that's what he is now. No, let's call it by the name that it should be called. He's a grandfather, so it's like a grandfather marrying his grandchild. You know, so what's your take on everything's happening now? Because when you switch on your phone now, what you see is Regina Daniel either crying or she's pretending to enjoy.
I'm actually imitating Regina. I am tired. I have tried. I just want to my brother's house. Wait, I'm not really laughing at the whole situation, but then again, I'm going to bring from the point or from the angle of, okay, when we are going back to the drawing board, when she was 18, because she got married at the age of 18, I feel that at that age, she doesn't know how to take a decision, right? She doesn't have this self-decision skills or not. So, you know, our mother came, you know, our mother just had to, you know, come in and, you know, do this and do that, marry him and all that.
So do you call that slavery? Could that be called slavery?
Like marital slavery?
Yes. Sold your daughter as a slave?
Yes.
Okay, that should be called that name.
Yes, marital slavery, because you as a mom knows that, okay, my daughter is not even if she has not gotten to that, okay, she's not in her 20s, at least she still has a long, like she still has enough time. She will need to go to school, she will need to get exposed, she will need to, you know, have experiences, have life experiences, and then you just allow her to get married at that early age. Okay, let's take this now. Let's look at Omotola Jolade Kende, the actress. Yeah, she got married at the age of 19. But our own case is different because I think she got pregnant or so, you know, but she had like a lifestyle of her own. She was already exposed due to what she was doing, you know, that's her career, acting career. But right now, I'm even bringing from the point of the mom. You are not supposed to allow your daughter to go into marriage at that age. And you know, Regina is an actress. At least she would have even been in that, you know, acting mood and all of that. And I feel that even if she had even, you know, gotten to that age of marriage and, you know, settling down and all of that, it would have even come in as a rest of mind to her, because there will not be any issue. But getting married to someone older than her, in fact, maybe just like a grandfather,
yes.
Right? But when she got married to him,
he was a father.
No, slash grandfather too.
All right, but let's forget about the mother now. Let's equally, you know, take our searchlight to the ladies now, because what is popular amongst young ladies now is that they better, you know, shed tears in the Lamborghini. Right, than laugh in a keke napep.
Just like that tennis song.
Yeah, the tennis song.
Yes, the song to my ego. I don't really know how to play the
music. Of course. You know that I better cry in the Lamborghini. You know, and wipe my tears with $100 bills and all that. So it's becoming a mantra right now amongst young girls without their parents' involvement. So what's your take on young girls taking that kind of lifestyle, wanting to get it now and not, you know?
Well, I tell young ladies that even if you want to get married right now, you get married to a kind man.
A kind man?
Yes.
So, okay, even if it's a grandfather, they should get one as his kind.
Okay, no. Okay. It's your choice. If you want to get married to someone way older than your father, it's your choice. It's your decision. Okay. But make sure he is kind.
So age is not a barrier?
For me, no. Age is a barrier in a way.
Yeah, but you said that if you can get married to a grandfather who is kind.
Not too old.
Okay.
Not too old. At least you can't get married. For me, I cannot get married to a man that is 60 years old.
But how about economy? How about a man who is starting life, a youth corps member who loves you, and who feels that you can be a good wife, but of course he's still living on 77,000.
Let me tell you something.
So do you think it's good for the young girl to say, okay, let's make a family as youth corps members?
It's possible.
Okay.
We have seen so many stories about that. It is possible. So long that guy loves you and he is willing, he is
to donate to 77K.
77K. You guys will share it. No, you understand? You know? And I feel that if there's an understanding in the relationship, not even married right now, everything will work out well. So be it a young or an old person, I feel that once the person loves you, and money is not everything.
Okay.
They say some people believe that money can buy love. Money cannot buy love. What buys your love is what buys the love from that person is just your heart.
Okay.
Be kind, and every other thing will be added on to you.
All right, so let's leave it at that point. We wish Regina Daniel well. Of course, they said not all that glitters is gold, and for every action there is an opposite, you know, reaction to it. So what she's going through now is a self-decision, even if sometimes it's not her real decision. It could be the decision of her mother, allegedly, you know, but a decision is a decision. The nature does not care who takes the decision. What nature cares about is the reaction. So when you fall from the sky, it doesn't matter if you've done 200 days of fasting. Gravity will bring you to the ground. All right. So the most important thing is do the right thing. And for young girls and young men, let's just live our lives.
Is don't be quick to marry.
Don't be quick to marry. Really?
Yes, don't be quick to marry. What I mean is, even if you're looking at your age, even if you're in your early 20s, like me now, I got married at the age of, I got married in my mid-20s, right? I've always been telling God, but it didn't just come. It came when I was not even ready.
Okay.
You understand? I was not ready, but he was ready, and he was like, okay, let's push this through. And I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I decided on my own. Even my parents were like, do you really want to do this? I said, yes. You understand? Because I have seen someone that it still boils down on you being a kind person. If you're if the man is a kind man, your spirit will attract that kindness. And when you get married, everything will be okay. But I'm not telling you, marriage is about ups and downs.
Yeah,
this is not about marriage.
And especially for those in the northern part of Nigeria, of course, it's a religious thing, and we wouldn't want to banter into that. You know, religion is a choice that people have made and all that. So we'll leave it at that. So that's all we have for today. We started from a hardcore story, and we just want to, you know, end it with a very soft story so that we can